All right, rock and roll and getting into this. This is Balrogs and Blastbeats, a nerdy contraption made by nerds to talk about nerd and metal and music and other things that we want, as you can see by the background behind me. My name is Josh Redbeard. Nerd.
I'm Margy. Hi.
Grant, nice to meet you. Welcome to the first episode of Balrogs and Blastbeats.
I fucking love the name Balrogs and Blastbeats too. It makes me happy. I'm also proud that I get to be the first person to swear on this podcast.
Damn, I really thought I was going to take that one for
Yeah,
Queensland.
I know, right? Shame. Well, we're going to start off all these podcasts talking about the nerdiest thing we've done this week, because I feel like that's a wholesome and really, really kind of nice way to start a podcast. So, Margy, we're going to start with you. What is the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
I mean, I'm back at uni, so everything I do is nerdy. But my pick is actually, I got advertised the show on not Netflix, Spotify, called Solar. It's like advertised as a podcast, but it's kind of just like a radio show style series, and it's freaking amazing. It is sci-fi, space travel, mystery. There's like an AI that features as one of the characters. It's like, it's so good. It's so fucking good. Like, it's got Stephanie Beatriz in there from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like,
Nice.
That's not bad.
If this was a novel, I would have read it in one night, hands down. Like, but I have to just wait for every episode to come out.
I'm gonna have to go find this now. That sounds sick.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I definitely have to give that a check out.
Oh yeah, it's so, I can't even like express how good it is. And that's not sponsored.
I'm thinking yet.
Each week we might throw all these in the show notes as well, if there's links to them as well, because I think that'll be a fun thing to do, so we can find out. So if you like the sound of that, there'll be a link in the show notes, because I'll remember to do that, because that's what a professional does.
Well, there's going to be one of us here that's a professional.
All right, then. Grant, what's the nerdiest thing that you've gotten into this week?
Well, I don't know if it's particularly nerdy, but the other week, my partner approached me. She's like, "Oh, we should watch this movie tonight. It looks kind of fun." You know, she saw it on Netflix. It's called Metal Lords. We watched the trailer. I'm like, this looks goddamn awful. Like, this looks so cringe. And they were like, "Oh, look, we'll give it a shot." And then, it was pretty good. It was like a nice coming of age movie with all the characters you hate about the metal scene, like the super annoying, just like, "You're not metal enough, bro." It's like, "Oh, you like Ed Sheeran? Well, fuck you, because it's not Slayer. I'm going to go slam my kitten into a tree."
All right, Lars Ulrich, calm down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you've got like the nice young drummer kid who's kind of growing up. He's actually a nice guy because he plays drums, and you got to tell them they're all nice guys, because there's not many of them. So please tell every drummer that they're extremely nice, good guys. And he's not really a metal kid, and then he kind of has like this awkward crush with the lady who eventually named Emily, who eventually comes on to play cello with them. And it's like metal cello because, cello bass, I think it's a School of Rock reference potentially.
Apocalyptica?
Yeah, Apocalyptica as well. But yeah, there's heaps of good cameos in it. My favorite one is who I'd like to call Mr. Nerdwide, which is Joe Manganiello. I can't actually say his name.
Joe Manganiello.
Yes,
what a boss.
That's it. Yeah, and he's on Command Zone, which is like a magic podcast that a lot of us watch that we quite like.
He was also
in Critical Role.
Yeah, and he was in not Batman vs Superman. He was in the end of the Justice League. He was Deathstroke.
Deathstroke, yeah, he's Slade. Yeah. He was also Slade in Teen Titans as well. I'm pretty sure he voiced him.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but I was actually gonna say in less known roles, such as he was also in Scrubs, How I Met Your Mother, the Justice League, Spider-Man, and all those other things. But that's not as important as Critical Role, because D&D is important.
Who was he in Scrubs? I've been rewatching Scrubs at the moment. Who is he?
He's just like a once-off character, I think. Same as he's in NCIS and all that, so he gets around. But also had some other. It was executively produced by Tom Morello, so it had a few deep cuts, like in your background. They had some Zeal and Ardor in the background as music for it.
Nice.
They had some cameos from Scott Ian of Anthrax, Rob Halford, Judas Priest, and Kirk Hammett from Metallica as well. So that was a pretty fun little. It was a fun movie. Like, I wouldn't say it's a fantastic movie, but it was just a funny watch. Like, I wouldn't go into it thinking that it's going to be hella metal, because you're going to be disappointed. And it's kind of funny because I saw a lot of people complaining about the movie on the internet, going like, "Oh, it's so cringe," and like, "It's not metal enough." I'm like, You know, like see the irony is you're just like that main character from that movie that you think is cringe. Like you are like the real world, the fucking 1-to-1 ratio of that exact character is obviously like a satire. So I found that pretty hilarious.
I love it.
Anyway, I've heard that you have another segment for us, Josh, a brand new segment for the first episode.
We're going to hear Josh's nerdy activity
Oh,
first.
true. Oh, well, yeah. I didn't really care.
Was it arranging this wall of nerd stuff behind you? Because it's amazing.
No, this was just my fun Monday afternoon. No, my nerdiest thing quickly was I have the strangest things that get suggested to me on YouTube. I don't know why. Like I watch a lot of outlandish stuff, and there was one that was suggested the other day that was it was a YouTube channel called Cracking the Cryptic, and it was just this English bloke in his mid-40s doing a Sudoku puzzle that only had one number and then all these extra like rules to Sudoku, but it was just like enrapturing because this dude, he was so wholesomely just pure in how excited he was about the puzzle. He was just like, he started thinking about it. He's like, oh, this is fantastic because this happens here. And he just gets so excited. And I was hooked for 53 minutes. I watched this dude solve this puzzle. It was amazing. But it was just so pure how much he just loved it. Like there was just something about it. It was just like, I just want to take this kid, and even though he's older than me, and like just treat him like a
80-year-old child.
100%. I just fell in love with this dude because I was just like, 100%. Like it was amazing. And obviously the very spooky nerd inside of me just like really liked how he broke it all down and how he figured everything out. And just watching him, that's just like watching how his mind worked. Just it got me very, very excited. So Cracking the Cryptic as a YouTube channel. I think the video was like something like, "Is this Sudoku puzzle impossible?" Turns out, spoiler alert, it's not. But yeah, it's amazing to watch. It really, really is. So
that's I want to go watch it now that you've said that he gets it done.
Yeah, spoiler. Jeez.
Yeah,
that needs to come with a spoiler warning.
Yeah,
Jesus. I think like if you pull the curtain back from the internet, I don't think he would have uploaded the video if he didn't. I think he just would have moved on with his life.
See, I would have preferred that if he acted like a real human being and showed everyone his failures.
How many screwed up pieces of paper?
Victories, yeah. He's setting an unrealistic standard for the rest of us, and I don't like it.
Oh my god! I just saw the Josie and the Pussycats in the background and made me remember Alan Cummings is in the podcast show that I've been listening to.
Amazing. Alan Cummings is the best.
Oh my god,
such an underrated actor.
Josie and the Pussycats, sci-fi, does it all.
All rounder.
Yeah, 100%. Nah, he's the boss. But yeah, we're gonna have a couple of rotating segments kind of going through each week as we do. We're going to start with one called Severely Underrated, and each week one of us is going to present something that we believe is severely underrated. Like perhaps you've heard of it, perhaps you haven't, but something that I think you need to get around. And I actually want to start with possibly my favorite indie horror film of all time. Have either of you two seen a film called Stakeland?
No, I have definitely not seen a film called Stakeland.
Is it as steak, in like pieces of meat?
No, like S-T-A-K-E, like steak.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I definitely have not.
No, but I'm into it.
Yeah, 100%. Like the elevator pitch for this would be Zombieland if it was serious and about vampires. Like there are some very similar tropes. There's the grumpy old man and the young naive kid, and set in a post-apocalyptic world. But it's shot on a real indie budget, but looks like visually stunning. It's a really, really well done horror film in that way. But I think like the thing that I like the most about it is the take on the post-apocalyptic world is great because it's, like I said, because it is about vampires, but the vampires are sort of a backstory. They're not like they're there, but they're not at the front of it. It's there's cults in it, there's fundamentalists, there's white supremacists. There's a whole storyline about people using these vampires for their own ends. There's a throwaway line in it where one of the characters talks about how like when the world was sort of first being overtaken by these vampires, this cult filled a plane full of vampires and crashed it into Washington to basically like destroy Washington. And I was like, it's such an interesting take because I've seen so many post-apocalyptic films, but I've never seen one go that sort of direction. And with these vampires, it kind of adds this sort of, extra thing to it, which really, really kind of made me excited about it. But
Yeah, the vampire 9/11 take is pretty interesting, to be honest.
Mm.
It's a very interesting way to start the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Kamikaze vampires.
Kamikaze vampires.
I like it. I love it. I love it.
It would have to be at nighttime, I guess. Otherwise,
Yeah.
they're gonna burst into flame.
Yeah,
But they're going to burst into flames anyway. They're in a plane.
That's one thing that really gets me is inconsistencies in vampire lore.
Inconsistencies in vampire lore.
Honestly, it's just too varied across cultures. Like, some of them you have to stake them through the heart. Some of them you have to dismember them or something. I don't know. Like, just be consistent, yo. Some of them can sparkle in sunlight.
There's only one that sparkles in sunlight, I feel, and I can't say I know
Spider
so much
Monkey.
more about that one about it. But I think I love it as well because there is, and I reckon you could probably do a whole podcast just on this. Is how there's like in Hollywood, there's usually 2 films that come out around the same sort of time with the same sort of theme. Like it was like Deep Impact and Armageddon, or it was Volcano and Dante's Peak. And I looked into it, and Zombieland came out December of 2009, and Stakeland came out September 2010. So they were too close together for one to be inspired by the other. So people have had these similar ideas at the same sort of times, but gone off in very obviously different directions. Zombieland was the big, massive budget Hollywood Woody Harrelson, blah 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 blah. But yeah, this really, really cool indie flick, it's available on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. Or you can pirate it because pirate life is coming back, apparently. Not that I'm telling you to go and do illegal things, but it is an option in this day and age. I mean, whatever you decide to do with your own life, this is not a suggestion of illegal activities. Just
you wouldn't steal a handbag.
Just the acknowledgement that illegal activities are possible.
Well, now that we've got Teslas, now you wouldn't download a car.
But yeah, I would 10 out of 10 recommend Stakeland. In terms of, there's no big cameos. The biggest cameo is in it is, I can't remember the actress's name, but she played Charlie in Top Gun, which was Maverick's love interest in the original Top Gun. It's like that 80s hottie. So this is obviously 22 years later, so not an 80s hottie anymore. But yeah, I was like, hang on, I know that face. But yeah, I would 10 out of 10. That'd be my severely underrated for this week, because like very few people I know have ever seen this film, but it is hands down one of my favorite indie horror films I've ever seen.
So do you think when they were making that movie in the early stage, like, so how like Zombieland and Stakeland are coming out like concurrently, do you reckon they're both originally working on the same project? And then the Stakeland guy said, "Nah, fuck this. I'm gonna go make my own movie with vampires and plane crashes."
Terrorist vampires.
Yeah.
It is entirely possible, and there's probably heaps of films that have happened like that. Yeah, just like a split in the writing direction. One guy's gone one way, one's gone the other. It's possible. I mean, I couldn't confirm or deny. It's a conspiracy theory there,
Let's
Grant.
Speculate wildly then. That's what we're here to do.
Let's go with yes. Let's go with 2 amazing films were made.
Yes.
One that, that's the other thing about Stakeland. Stakeland technically tanked at the box office because it was only ever released on like, I think 8 screens or something like that. It was originally only released on 1 screen, and then it went to like 2. I think it did $8,000 at the box office. Yeah,
that's $1,000 a screen. That's like one full cinema each. That's all right. It's okay.
For people when it saw it, that's what I'm
hearing.
hearing.
I'm sure the movie cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to make. So.
No, indie means it was shot on someone's phone and it cost them nothing. Thank you.
There is the odd scene where it's like quite obviously shot at day, and they've just changed the sky to make it look night. There are definitely those things where like, oh yeah, this is not a Hollywood film, but even they've clearly gone to the cornfields of America, like small American towns and whatnot. But finding the amount of like rundown places that they did on the budget they would have had was actually really impressive. Like it is really, really authentic. Like 28 Days level authentic, but obviously not in the middle of London, because that would have cost so much money to shut down London.
They actually like Shinfo, a bit of Shinfo about that movie.
Love Shinfo.
Did you know like when they were like all the highway scenes, they had a rolling blockade of cars blocking off the road. Like for like 2 hours at a time, like they'd just like slow the traffic down so they had clear patches where they could film, and they were allowed to do it for like 20 minutes, and then the blockade had to leave. They let traffic through, and then if they need to take another shot, they like re-blockade. Like you get another 20 minutes, and they recorded. It was one of the first big time, oh, not even big time movies. It was one of the first movies ever recorded purely on digital film, well, not like digitally instead of on film, and that's why it looks so bad. Whereas now everything's recorded digitally now, but they just didn't have it in the early 2000s. So basically, half of it's on like camcorders, like almost it's pretty much indie as well. And yeah, they somehow came out with a great product. Like, it's a fantastic movie. I love that movie.
Is that that's 28 Days Later?
Yes.
Have I seen that? Okay, so that's something everyone should know about me is I'm like, I know what I know about, and then I just have giant gaps in my pop culture knowledge, which is fantastic. And I can't even ride a bicycle either. There you go. So much wrong with
That's
me.
right. You're in the control group.
28 Later, is that the one where like he wakes up in hospital and somehow no zombies eating him, even though zombies everywhere? And it's like
it's I think it was one of
Cillian Murphy.
One of his first roles as well, and he's just a fucking hottie in bloody Peaky Blinders. And
I was going to say Blindy Peakers.
There's a hottie. I can handle that. I will be watching that movie.
Yeah, watch Peaky Blinders. Oh, he's so good in that.
Honestly, looks a little rough in 28 Days Later until he like does that random shaving segment that he just walks out. He's like, oh, he's clean shaven now in the apocalypse. When did that happen?
Shaving montage.
What?
I love a montage.
They call it a shave-tage.
Exactly.
So yeah, rounding it out, bringing that back to Stakeland, 10 out of 10 recommendation, severely underrated. If you're into indie horror films, if you're into vampire films, go and check it out, because I literally just watched it today, just kind of like, because I'd thought about it, I'd like, because I remember so much about it, so I wrote it all down. I was like, does it still hold up? And yes it does.
Also a great name for a steak restaurant.
True.
Vegan steak, obviously. I'm not endorsing
100%.
cow killing. Vampire killing, though.
Yeah, vampire killing, all about. But speaking of killing, each week we're going to have the main topic of discussion, which you'll see is the title of this video. We've gone with a rather abstract idea that I think we're going to have some fun with, and the idea is, what would be the best and what would be the worst universes to wake up in. So, we're going to have honorable mentions if you like, but Margy, let's start with you. Let's start with your worst universe. What is the worst universe you believe one could wake up in?
Oh, all right. So this one was hard. So the problem with like a lot of fantasy is that it's that kind of pseudo medieval style, and I'm not a fan of that, because I like plumbing, like love it, love me some sanitation. I like my antidepressants, and I don't want to be a peasant in a war, because...
So do you mean that if you were in medieval days, you'd be upset that you couldn't be a plumber, or that there wasn't any plumbing?
That's just I'm just upset by the absence of the invention of plumbing, because I'm assuming that this is me with my knowledge going into
this is tomorrow you're waking up in a different universe, like a fantasy universe, pop culture universe, whatever it is. So
God, I would do terribly. I'd just be like, sorry, and what do I do when I get my period? I have to do what? Absolutely not. So fantasy is obviously a nightmare for me, so it had to be a fantasy world. And I've gone with the Witcher universe, because
interesting.
This is based off the books, because it's just got this overwhelming melancholy that just like emanates from it. Like, I haven't played the games, but he is hot. Like, Geralt can get it. Like, we all know that.
Geralt can definitely get it.
But the books are really, really like overwhelmingly sad, and there's this like sense of like there's like predetermination and destiny, loss, the never-ending cycle of change and loss and life, and like the struggle that exists with just being human. I don't know, like everything is just bleak. And then there's elf racism, which is happening, which I don't like. Yeah, it's like, do I need to explain the Witcher universe?
No, not to me. Like, I understand, but I don't know if Josh is up to build.
I haven't read the books, and I've played like 20 minutes of Witcher 3, I think it was. Right. I've seen the TV show. So apparently the TV show is quite what's the word? it's apparently it's a lot like that because
The first season was, the second
Yeah.
season a trash fire.
I was I was so upset about Eskel. I was like, "What do you mean, my boy? Like, why is he dead? He's the happy guy. Why is he so angry? He's the happy guy. It's all he's known for is being happy."
This is not right. Yeah, the Witcher universe is just based around the eponymous Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, who's a monster hunter who has supernatural abilities. Like, he's got cat eyes because they're like vertical slits, and you can probably hear my cat shaking around in the background. And
also Geralt.
Yeah, that's a good name for a cat. And he's super hot. And there's
Not the
but there's like a whole lot of fantasy lore happening. What's wrong with my cat? She's hot. So it's got like standard fantasy tropes. Like, it's got elves, it's got dwarves, destiny, kind of thematic things, magic, dragons. But all the witches and warlocks are just crazy, egotistical, like power hungry people. And there's like just a lot of monsters. But like Sapkowski came up with some really cool lore. But if I woke up in that world, I would wake up and be like, oh fuck, what's going to eat me today? Like, great. And then of course the real monsters turn out to be
the humans.
Hey, it was the humans all along. So yeah, that's definitely my, like, I would hate waking up there. Like, unless I gotta like bang Geralt, but like even then.
Is it worth all the dirt?
Oh god, it's so dirty. Why is everyone so dirty? Because no plumbing. But oh god.
It's just a very damp looking universe, but like damp plaster, not like morning dew.
Yeah. Morning dew. Mountain dew.
Doesn't he stink though? Like, I know that's in the television show. I don't know if that's in the book as well, but in the television show they keep on saying Geralt stinks real bad.
I think they all stink. I think it's just the lack of plumbing.
I think he was particularly stinky at one point because like he nearly died or something. I don't know. Like, there was a period where he hadn't washed for a while and people were commenting on it, and it was like,
he does happen to fall in bogs a lot. So
and mud and dead monsters. And the puddles that ladies have at their feet when they see him.
Yeah,
slips over in those a lot. Would you like my honorable shit mentions?
Yeah, let's go the honorable mention. Yeah.
So obviously sci-fi peak dystopia, and the peak dystopia has to be 1984. But I was like, with everything Russia at the moment,
yeah, we're about 1982 right now. Like,
we're close. And then someone said that they'd like to wake up. Like, I was talking with this about this with a mate, and they were like, Star Trek. I'd want to wake up in the Star Trek universe, and I'm no expert on Star Trek. Like, I've seen a couple of movies, and I know references like "Beam Me Up, Scotty," because I didn't live under a rock. But there is a World War III that starts in 2024 in the Star Trek lore. And I was like, you know what? No, because I don't know if there's any time jumping that happens across universes, but no thank you.
You'd be waking up after the fact, so you'd miss all the war and all the stuff that's
okay. All right. Well, maybe that would be a one that I'd want to wake up in then. But
yeah, you just wake up in time for the Galactic War.
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah. All right. I reckon Grant, give me your worst universe.
My worst universe. All right. This is definitely an abstract one, but anyone who's ever played this video game before would understand not wanting to be in this position. I've gone with being an NPC in the Sims universe. There could be nothing worse than just some kid on a fucking power trip all day, taking the ladder out of the pool, locking you in there. There's even like some things I've seen. There's an exploit in Sims where you impregnate a lady, you trap them in the pool. So every time they hit labor, a cot appears. But because they're in the pool, they can't give birth, so they're just like, it just postpones the labor, then they hit it again in the pool, and you just infinitely sell off the cots to become rich forever. And I'm like, that is the worst thing. Imagine living in that universe where all these people are concerned about is not you, and just always back, are you starving? Oh, sorry, I got to finish the fascia on this house. That is designed for gremlins, because obviously the person who's designed it has terrible imagination. So yeah, I definitely think being an NPC in the Sims universe would be absolutely just terrifying.
I love that that's where you took that idea. That makes me so happy.
I mean, I've played The Sims a couple of times. I know that we had to play like the roller coaster tycoon Sims when I was in high school. And I just killed a lot of people because I'm really bad at video games. And it was like, what do you mean I need to like finish this roller coaster? Ah!
I like the analysis of the human condition though, because like I think about I've never played The Sims, but I played SimCity back when, you know, in like the early 90s because I'm an old man. And I remember like you build up this city and you'd have all these citizens, and then eventually you'd get bored of playing the game, and you can just select natural disasters to happen. So you just like turn on the alien invasion, and the aliens would just come destroy everything, and you were just like, yeah, this is a normal thing to do. I'm bored with all these. I'm all bored with all these peasants now. Crush. And it's just like it continued throughout all of the Sims, this really nice and wholesome game. It's like, no, I'm just gonna wreak suffering on humanity.
Was The Sims some way of preparing us as like preparing millennials for like what life is going to throw at us? Because maybe.
Well, I don't know, because technically I'm not even a millennial, and I'm the one that's the most upset about this. So maybe it's preparing my generation. But
yeah, you're a
I'd be a Gen
Zoomer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think because the game's so neutral, it just perfectly brings out the worst in everyone. Anyone that gets on that game, they're just like, oh, a bit bored. Might as well go on a power trip, commit some war crimes. Why not?
So what the common thread is here is that the worst universes to live in are any place where humans are terrible, which is all of them.
No, most specifically, any universe where only one person has power over everyone else, because we all know absolute power corrupts absolutely, and especially when it's unlimited power.
Unlimited power!
Yeah.
Well, my worst, I can combine those two ideals into my worst universe to wake up into, strangely enough. One person having unlimited power and humans being terrible. The Warhammer 40,000 universe has to be the worst universe to wake up in. If you don't know much about the Warhammer 40,000 universe, it's like literally the tagline for the universe is, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. And so if you were born anywhere in the Imperium of Man, and the Emperor sits on his golden throne and, you know, he gets like 1,000 souls sacrificed to him every day to keep him alive. But in the Imperium, you're either cannon fodder, like you're literally in the Imperial army, you work in a forge world making weapons or making bullets or whatever for the army. You could be born into like a Necromunda hive world, and then you just have to deal with gang war forever. And it's literally like spire hives that are like kilometers and kilometers high. Or, you know, best case scenario is that you become a space marine, which involves like about a year of
I thought you were going to say Slanesh.
we'll get to that. But yeah, best case scenario in the Imperium is you become a space marine, which involves about a year worth of torture as they implant different things into you and change your whole body structure, and you just get punished for a year, and then you end up as, you know, more evolved cannon fodder.
Oh my god, it is The Witcher. Oh god.
It's even got the damp and dirt of the Witcher as well. It's the Sims Witcher.
It's the Sims Witcher.
Oh my god.
But, you know, then
it's turn-based Witcher.
But if you expand it, right, there are other races as well. So, you know, if you were born into the Eldar were this amazing race that used to conquer the galaxy, but they're like a dying race now who like all they do is just talk about the good old days. Is they used to be amazing and now they're just shit, and so you've just got to like spend eternity listening to old people talk about how good things used to be.
Yeah, I feel that.
If you fall to chaos, unless you're one of the 4 chaos gods, like you're not having any fun there. Like you are a mutant, my middle name, or you're chaos. Nice.
She's the Celtic goddess of destruction, so the same thing. I was like, why would you name a baby that? It's a terrible child.
Manifest destiny.
I think
hey, The Witcher comes back.
I was thinking about it, and literally, like, the only race where, like, you could kind of have fun is if you were born an orc. Because literally the orcs' entire drive in the Warhammer universe is they are searching for the Great War. And so they just go on fighting wars because they're looking for a better war. And so it's like literally your entire life is just like, war! And then you just go on to kill things. And then eventually you either kill or become the biggest orc. And that's it.
I love that they've just created a system of just unlimited optimism out of the worst possible thing. See, that's a glass half full take. I think that's what we're
that
going
sounds
to take
like
out of here.
religion to me. That's
Yeah.
like
What I'm
That's
getting here is everyone else in the Warhammer universe are just pessimists, and then the orcs are going, you know what? It's a shit situation. Might as well make the most of it. Why not be the best at it? Because we got to do it anyway. Got to be the best.
Well, they're the only race that's excited about the Tyranids. The Tyranids are sort of that like HR Geiger alien inspired sort of like destroying, eating biomass sort of race, and everyone else is terrified of the human, like the Imperium, everyone. But orcs are just like, fuck yes, war, and they go and attack the Tyranids, and they're just like bang against each other. But yeah, so your best case scenario is being a big green thing in the Warhammer universe. Otherwise, it's just miserable.
I think it's about time that orcs were a good option. They're always the bad guys, so I'm about this.
Yeah, as a lifestyle choice, they're definitely the best option you have.
Well, I feel like in this universe, they're either good guys to bad guys, depending on whoever else is the strongest person. You just got to hope that the strong guy is not a nice guy. Then they're technically the good guys.
When you put it like that,
it's a matter of perception, isn't it? As long as there's always someone worse for them to fight, then they're the good guys.
Very, very true. All right, well, let's round it around again. We've gone through the miserable. Now let's talk about the best. So, Margy, if you were to wake up tomorrow in the best, the ultimate, the most exciting, the most fun universe, what universe would it be?
I've gone with the Pokemon universe. Because I love animals, and I was worried that like the Pokemon universe might be a bit like animal exploity, but no, the Pokemon actually love battling, it turns out. So like it's like an extreme sport.
They're orcs. They're
all so yeah, like I think it's great. I love animals, and to have weird animals with magical abilities that can kind of speak, I don't know, they could say their names. It would just be such a dream. Like but then if like my cat killed like a Rattata or a Pidgey or something, I feel really bad.
No, that's the best thing about the Pokemon universe. We all just pretend that none of these Pokemon ever die. They just go to sleep for a long time.
They just go and say Nurse Joy, and then they're fine.
Yeah. Even the ones that haven't been caught. It's just like it's almost like in the Pokemon universe, if you're not employed, you don't get healthcare, so you don't get to go see Nurse Joy if you don't have a trainer. That's it. You're done. That's the end.
Oh god, it is exploitative.
Yeah. If you're a wild Pokemon, you're fucked.
Yeah, and I like if I woke up in that universe, my depression would be cured because I would immediately have a purpose in life, which is to go and get a Charizard, like little Charmander. Start off with one of those. Yeah, but like honestly, even if I saw a Magikarp, I'd sit there just like screaming for like a few hours
as it splashes at you.
Yeah, so I thought I'd just list off a few of the cute Pokemon to see if I'm just going the OG series. So like Horsey, the little seahorse guy, Chansey, Dugong, Vulpix, Jigglypuff, Eevee, and then all the weird Pokemon like the kind of human-like ones that are like Jinx, Hitmonlee, Machop. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
When I eat too much, I end up looking like Mr. Mime because like I just like blow down the middle and I'm like skinny everywhere else. So I'm just like.
But I think like it's true because I mean, if you think about it, like even the like quote unquote evil Pokemon, like when Tentacle and Tentacruel like attack that. Like that,
the ship,
the town and the ship and everything like that. It turns out they're only doing it because their habitat's being attacked and habitat's being destroyed and whatnot. So it's like they're not actually evil; they're just protecting themselves. You're like, even the Tentacruels are actually really nice.
Yeah, and like Detective Pikachu, which is actually a really cute movie. All the Pokemon are living with all the people, and it's great. And I was like, this is really wholesome. Like,
is that actually good? I haven't seen that one because I was too
apparently
scared.
It actually is quite good.
It was really good. Like I enjoyed it a lot, and having a Pikachu who could say more than Pika Pika was like, it was really good. What's your starting Pokemon, Josh?
I reckon Bulbasaur. I like Bulbasaur. I'm a big fan.
Are we talking like original 3 or
OG 3?
150. Got to catch them all, Pokemon.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So Probably like Venusaur, like competition wise, is actually the best Pokemon out of the three. But if you're just playing single player, it's Charizard. It's got to be.
Yeah, you got to start with little Charmander because they're
Yeah.
so cute.
But
And
if
also,
if you want to spank other people, it's Venusaur all the time.
yeah, but it's not as cute. I've got my
Yeah.
priorities.
It's the
sorted.
working man's
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Ah. I do have a couple of honorable mentions
Alright.
for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World because I want vegan powers.
Yeah,
That's it. Like, Futurama, like suicide booths, hilarious. And I want a nibbler. God damn it! Like, but like I had to really think about like universes where magic or like bending, like like the Avatar, because even though Avatar: The Last Airbender is my favorite TV show of all time ever, if I woke up in that universe and was not a bender, I would be angrier than soccer. I would be so fucking angry all the time. I'd be like, ugh! And it's like, what if you woke up in the Harry Potter universe and you're a muggle? Fucking great. Someone blows up a bridge. Like,
I feel like in that case, you're just back to square one, aren't you?
Yeah,
you just woke up. You just woke up.
Yeah, exactly. Or what if you're a magician and then you get sent to Hogwarts and there's no fucking Wi-Fi in there or whatever because of ghosts or something? I need to shitpost. I have a daily requirement for shitposting. That's my angry rant about fantasy and magic. But Pokemon, please.
Sounds just like a really good opportunity to make heaps of money. Really, just got to bring the Wi-Fi to the Hogwarts.
Bringing Wi-Fi to wizards since
that's
2022.
it.
There you go. I've got my catchphrase.
Can't wait for the wizards to be able to magically bully each other over the internet.
Fuck you, Voldemort. I'd love that.
Didn't say his name out loud. Didn't say I couldn't type it.
Yeah, I did say I couldn't fucking write it down. Emojis. Snake.
Or it's like I don't know if you two ever watched this show called The Grave Adventures of Billy and Mandy, or The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
No.
Or they had this like one character. It was like Cartoon Network early 2000s. I had this one character and there was like Lord Voldemort, but he's called Lord Moldybutt. So I just made me think of that. So yeah, just a good laugh about Lord Moldybutt.
Moldybutt. Yeah. Grant, what's your dream universe to wake up in?
So my dream universe, I don't know if anyone's watched this show. I know people out there have watched that. I don't know if you two have watched that, but my dream universe would be Naruto.
Oh,
because I grew up. It was really big. It was like my Dragon Ball Z. Watching that, I just loved everything about it. Honestly, probably super depressing again if you were in that universe and you like couldn't use your chakra or your jutsu. You'd be like, oh, cool. I'm just
an extra.
I'm just a war casualty waiting to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I just as a youngin, I just always loved like all the character arcs in that movie and being able to do all the jutsus. I even learned the hand signs when I was a wee lad. I'm not going to do them now because that's social suicide.
Did you have a headband?
No, I didn't have a headband. I was poor, so I couldn't get the headband. But I pretended I had the headband. I had a mind headband. But yeah, I don't really have to like too deep into this one because it's kind of I think it's pretty niche, the world itself. But I just like love all the art styles, all the different, like how everyone's got like a kind of like Avatar, how people have like a certain like element that's aligned with their chakra that they can naturally use, but they can also learn others with a lot of hard work. Or some people are just like muggles pretty much and just war crime waiting to happen.
Okay,
which is also a big. Oh, sorry.
If you woke up in the Naruto world, would you want to fight Naruto, or just give him like a good firm slap for being kind of annoying, or what are your thoughts there? I don't know. Would you want to be his friend?
I'd be his friend because I think that's what he needs. He's annoying because he's seeking attention because he has no friends. So all he just needs is swift high five, maybe eat some ramen with him, and he's fine. Nice. And also, when he gets like super famous, he can like give me some of that money. Get me a nice house. When he's Hokage, he can get me a nice house so I can avoid all these motherfucking war crimes.
This is like, Mark, is what you were talking about earlier. How like there are going to be certain things where you're the Luddite, whereas like right now, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like I watched Robotech when I was a kid, and like the original like Transformers was about as anime as I got. Then I watched like Hellsing when I grew older, but like I never really got into like I never watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've never seen Naruto. like any of that stuff. Like I watched Pokemon when it first came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that old man is just like, no, there's 150 of them and there's no more Pokemon. so this is where I'm going to be the Luddite when you guys are talking about anime. I'm going to be like, yes.
It's all right. It's basically like where my small amount of anime knowledge ends. Like I'm like very much like a three-legged horse. I got like 3 animes I really like, and everything else is like, oh, I don't really have the time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make it to the end of Naruto because there was just so much of it. So much.
I skip the filler every time.
If there's a filler episode, you're like, nope.
There's about like, I think about 300 out of the 700 odd episodes of filler, so you just skip past them. It might even be more, actually. It might even be more than half.
But that's like I remember, because again, like I've never seen Dragon Ball Z, but a friend of mine went to Cash Converters once and bought like every single, someone had donated like every single DVD, so he bought them all, and him and his partner at the time were just watching them at his house, and I would like come over to his house and they'd be watching Dragon Ball Z, and there'd be like a fight between 2 of them, and like one dude's like charging up, and then I'd come over like 2 weeks later and they're still watching it and he's still charging up, and I'm like, what has happened in this 2 weeks that you have been watching this show? And old mate's over here, his power still hasn't reached 9,000. That's the only reference that I know, so I'm going to throw that in there.
I know Super Saiyan.
What you're underselling is the power of exposition as a time-wasting tool for you to reach your ultimate potential. Procrastination somehow in this universe has made you be able to get to your ultimate potential.
Yeah. My ultimate potential takes that long. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I'm not that committed to being good at something. I got 3 brain cells. Josh, what's your universe?
All right, so I'm going a bit left of field here because I had my honorable mention first, right? And then I started thinking about other ones, but I kept coming back to my honorable mention, and it's kind of weird. So I'm gonna do like, I came up, the other ideas I had are now my honorable mentions, which is like, I like the idea of waking up in the Star Wars universe, but only if I could be a Jedi. Like I don't want to be anything else.
Yeah, I don't want to be a fucking pleb.
No, I don't want to be a pleb. I like the idea of the Star Trek universe as well. Like that was definitely on mine. Like, I mean, it's a very peaceful universe. Like, you know, when you get, I mean, peaceful universe, it's a peaceful planet Earth. Outside of the universe, it's not so peaceful. But, you know, being able to like boldly go where no man has gone before, like, I love that. I think that'd be so much fun. Like, especially if I got to be under Captain Jean-Luc Picard, who is the best starship captain.
Yeah.
But bear with me on this. This was my honorable mention first. The Fallout universe.
That'd be awful.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Stay with me, right? So if you're born into this like wild universe, you're going to learn survival skills at a very, very young age. So
well, are you? Because likely you're going to be an orphan because your parents probably died during childbirth.
And you're probably going to have like 4 arms because of mutation 100%. From radiation.
That'd be sick. And
that might be a good thing, actually.
Yeah, you'd be selling t-shirts and F-shirts. Yeah.
But when the world has gotten to that part where it's just like past fuck it, like whenever the apocalypse happens, whenever anything kind of happens, you just kind of, I feel like when you just kind of accept, all right, one day I'm going to be torn apart by a death claw, I think you just find this level of freedom. And I think if I was in that universe, I'd just be like, well, fuck it, I'm just going to go out in the wastes and just see how long I make it for. Like, I think there'd be a lot of fun in that. Like, if I just got to choose the way I got to go, I'm like, well, I'm going to be a wastelander. I'm going to go and, you know, do some quests for some people. I'm going to go and kill some people who are dressed up as Caesar's Legion. You know, I'm going to check out Hoover Dam while I can. You know, you could join the Brotherhood of Steel and get your fancy suit, and, you know, you could, but that's like servitude in the army, and I don't want to do that. But I feel like the Fallout universe is basically just a license to snap, and something about that just sounds like fun. I want to be honest. Like, it's just like, yeah.
Should we be worried about you? I think.
I mean, for multiple reasons, you should 100% be worried. This is kombucha, by the way. Just making sure everyone sees that this is kombucha.
It's fine because he might think he's unstoppable until he walks over a rock, and then it's game over. He's glitched. He's stuck in that rock forever. And he's like, shit. And it goes from Fallout to 127 hours real fucking quick.
No, I feel like I'd still be a good person though, because the first time I played Fallout 3, I decided to blow up that first town with the nuclear blast. And then when you meet your dad,
made you think you're gonna be a good person, did it?
No, it just thinks it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Because when I meet my dad later in the game, and my dad is voiced by Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson's like, I've heard some very upsetting things about you. I felt fucking horrible. Like Liam Neeson just grinding me, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted the fancy apartment, and I had to blow up a town to do it. And then I haven't blown up the town since. Every time I played Fallout 3, specifically because I don't want to be yelled at by Liam Neeson. No? So I think I'd be a good person. Like I'd be like a chaotic good. That would be my sort of I feel that would be where I'd be. I'd be out causing chaos, but like being nice.
Just occasionally nuke a town.
Just occasionally, just for shits and giggles. I mean, to be fair, Newtown was kind of gross anyway. But but no, I think anything where it's like like every post-apocalyptic world, I feel like being like the wasteland wanderer. You know, especially if I had Dogmeat with me, if I had that like cute like half rotten dog with me, I think it'd be
also much better once you unlock Dogmeat's puppies as well, because it's super sad before they put that in the game. When your dog dies, you're like, oh shit, that's forever.
Oh my god.
But they later remedied it, and they gave you a perk to let you get Dogmeat's puppies. So when Dogmeat dies, you just get another Dogmeat.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they realize, this is the worst travesty to humankind we've ever done, is the fact that your dog can die. Because nobody wants that.
Yeah, I like a challenge, and maybe it's just because there's a part of me who doesn't like being around humans, and the idea of wandering through a wasteland alone just actually seems to appeal to me for some strange reason. This is my idea of socialization is obviously starting a podcast with friends. I
think we can also all tell just by looking at you that the sunburn is going to get you before anything.
Oh, bad. 100%. Everywhere I go, it's the only thing you can't seem to find in the I can find a lot of stim packs, but no sunscreen. It'd be a bad time. But there's just, I don't know, there's just something about it. I kept on coming back to the Fallout universe, just being like, it'd be a little bit of fun.
Especially honestly, it was in my honorable mentions too. I didn't think about it. I'm like, it would be a lot of fun, but I'm like, it sounds like fun, but I don't know if it's like best universe to live in. No. Like, it's definitely not best universe to live in. Like, there's a lot of downside. It's got a lot more cons.
I'm going with chaos. I'm going with chaos in this one. I don't know. I feel like Star Trek's just a bit too peaceful. Star Wars is a bit too like rolling the dice.
And in Fallout, everyone just gets to suffer, so it doesn't matter.
Basically my reasons for the best and worst universe are the same, like really when you boil it down.
I think everything comes down to the same thing. It's like I just want a good time.
I do. I just want chaos before I die, is apparently.
I just want a cute fucking pet who doesn't poop on the floor.
What happened to Pokemon shit? Because they eat.
Maybe they poop in the Pokemon balls, in the Pokeballs. Maybe there's like a waste disposal system in there.
I mean, if there's room for a Pokemon in it, there should be room for a toilet in there too, I guess. So
where does it flush to? It just trickles down your leg.
Yeah.
Oh no!
It just stinks when you go like throw the Pokeball out. It's just like
flinging Pokemon shit with the Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like that's not a water type Pokemon.
Nah, I'd have free range Pokemon. I just want like a gang of animals around me.
So what happens, like, say, like, like Charmander, if he's light and his flame of his tail goes out, he dies. So if he's in the ball and you forget he's in there, right? He shits too much. He's gonna kill himself.
He's gonna shit himself out of existence.
Yeah, and then you're gonna go like throw the Pokeball. This limp ass lizard's gonna fly out of it covered in shit. It's dead.
You gotta throw a dead lizard. That's so funny.
This is exactly the types of conversations I really wanted to have in this podcast. I'm not like, exactly that.
Yeah. Imagine that. He's fighting Brock, Pewter Jim. He's like, Pikachu's not really holding up against these rock type Pokemon. I'll go Charmander. It's fucking dead.
I feel like shit attack is a good thing to attack Onyx. Like I feel like Rock is not holding up well against shit.
It'll slip over on the dead lizard. Depends how advanced the decomposition is.
Amazing. So that is the best and the worst. Some different opinions, some different ideas, took it to some different places, and I really
we'll put them up as polls, I think, on socials. That's
100%.
So we can see if you guys agree with us, and you should agree with me because I'm always right.
But speaking of polls, we're gonna round out each show with a sort of like audience interaction polls. You need to go and follow at Northside Nerds because this is all going to happen under Northside. We haven't talked about Northside Nerds at all, but the Instagram is at Northside Nerds, and every week we're gonna Northside Nerds, because that's exactly what we are. We're Northside Nerds. We're going to have some sort of, back and forward. And this week it's going to be who would win
M.
M.
Look, I'm trying.
Bug
No.
life. But Margy, you've won or drawn the short straw or whatever you want to say this week for choosing the question of who would win in a fight. So you've thought long and hard about this, and who have you decided to pit against each other, and who would win in a fight?
Look, there are infinite possibilities I could come up with, and I was trying to be like, okay, male wizards from fantasy novels, like going down this, and then I was like, fuck it, let's just do a fan service. Arwen, Eowyn, who would win in a fight?
It's an
Everyone's
interesting-
thought about it.
The old love triangle fandangle.
It's really not a triangle, it's a line, and then
No,
Eowyn's over
It's
there
a
like
line, yeah. I was gonna say who would win for the affections of Aragorn is not a fight, but who would win in like slapsies, like beat down fight, like even if they had weapons, like it is. I think it would be a fairly fair fight. Arwen obviously has the elf advantage, but I mean Eowyn
of
just
being
has
super fucking old.
Yeah, but like Eowyn's just bitches be crazy, and like
Yeah.
I feel like like with the love that like the lust she has in those eyes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She horny.
Yeah, I just have to say it. I think Eowyn had Eowyn, not Eowyn. Sorry, Arwen. Arwen. Arwen's had it pretty good. One of those cozy elf lives in Rivendell.
She's a
chilling
princess
out.
or something.
Princess,
I don't know. Yeah.
leaves seem to circle around her like she's got a tiny self-sustained cyclone going on, and then that's pretty cruisy. But then you got desperate Eowyn fighting for her life.
Gotta prove herself.
Got to prove herself. Not even allowed to ride a horse in her own city. Mortal fear. Obviously, her dad dies, able to kill a Witch King. I think mortal fear. She's afraid of dying. She's going to be able to beat the elf that's had it too good. As the society scale always goes, once you've been in a good place for too long, you get your silk slippers and then you fall to the common man. And that's why I think Eowyn's going to give her the beat down. Happened to the Persians. Happened to the Spartans. Going to happen to Arwen.
Wow. Well, I'm willing to agree with that. But at the same time, I think the one thing that we're not taking into account here is like Arwen is an elf. Like elf, even if she isn't like trained, she got the silver slippers. Like she has the elf hearing, like the elf sight. Like she can see. She like even if she's never
already
been
has a
trained
sword,
before,
so surely she's trained with the sword. Like
you never
she has
really
a
see
sword.
her. I mean, in the films at least, you never really see her
Yeah.
use it. She just sort of flops around a bit. I'm almost finished the Two Towers, the book. So she hasn't really been that much in it. Like neither of them have really done anything so far.
Arwen doesn't really do much anyway in the books.
So, I mean, yeah, so far it's a bit lackluster on both of their behalves.
Yeah.
But like Arwen would still have those super sensibilities, those super powers, elf powers as they have, super senses. So I
also
reckon
she kind of gives up on living.
Hmm.
So
she does give up very easily.
She does, hey. She's like, I love you, Aragorn. Her dad, you should go to the Undying Lands. I'm going to go to the Undying Lands.
Land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say, it's that silk slipper, weak constitution, never had to fight for anything before, not going to start fighting for something now. It's the way it is. It's the way the world goes. And it's the way it always has gone.
Just doesn't give a shit, hey. She's like, yeah, whatevs. You go fight your war, Aragorn. I'm just going to go hang out in some trees and do some elf shit.
We need to save this whole realm. I'll just go to the other one.
You know what? Fuck humans. But maybe it's that approach that'll pose well. So,
you may have convinced me there, Grant. You may have convinced me. I'm
only just stating the facts here, whereas you're just using conjecture about what she might be able to do.
No, I'm saying, like, but no, all elves have it. This is a fact that all elves have these powers. How much Arwen could use them is a very fair question.
Does she have the stomach to?
True. But I mean, no one thought Eowyn did until the end, until we realized she was no man. We didn't know she could until she could.
I saw a dope tattoo of that the other day. The I am no man underneath the Witch King's helmet. Great.
Fuck yeah.
And you know that Eowyn would have that tattooed, like
on the bicep.
Her and Faramir are pretty much in a lesbian relationship. It's fine. That hair. There's so much hair.
I know this wasn't the question, but I think her and Faramir are a far cuter couple than her and Aragorn anyway.
Oh my god, Faramir's a hottie. Like,
yeah, 100%.
And he's really nice, and he's got like really good morals, and
he's a lot stronger in the books. I feel he's a lot more like he's just a bit kind of.
Is Faramir? That's Carl Urban's character, yeah.
No, Faramir's Boromir's brother, the one that.
Yes, of course, yeah. The dad that eats the gross tomatoes. Terrifying.
I saw someone just like great. It was a great Halloween costume for couples, and it was Denethor and a tomato, and I was like, it's
too good. But we want to hear if we're right in thinking that Eowyn stands a chance against Arwen. Does she? Because I reckon she can fucking take her. She got some stuff going on.
Yeah, so we're gonna post that on the Instagram. It'll be an Instagram poll, but I feel it has to be an Instagram post as well. Just so no matter whenever you're listening to this, you can scroll back through the Northside Nerds Instagram. You can find the post and you can leave your conjecture on who's gonna win in that fight. I'm picturing some sort of like weird Photoshop thing we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, like Street Fighter verse.
Street Fighter.
Oh, it's exactly that. That's 100% it.
It's gotta have speed lines on it.
Pew 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 pew. Button bashing. That's how I do.
Shit. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's the first episode then of Balrogs and Blastbeats. I think I would call that. I'd call that a success. I'm gonna put it out there. Success.
Yeah. I'm gonna go success. Nice. Let us know what you think though.
Only if you don't think it's a success, don't tell us, please.
Don't tell.
Yeah, I can't handle criticism. I will cry.
We're fragile.
We're nerds. We don't handle criticism.
We're nerds, damn it.
Yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be other content coming through as well. If you're listening to this as a podcast, on the YouTube channel, we're going to be putting through Twitch streams. We're going to be putting through a whole bunch of stuff where we're expanding the idea of Northside Nerds over the next 12 months. So I hope you follow us on this journey. And we'll be back again next week with some other sort of insane idea that hopefully doesn't lead to discussing Pokemons and their defecation habits.
Yeah, join us for some weird nerd shit next time.
But also, if you do want to hear more about the Pokemon shit habits, comment, let us know. I will research the shit out of it, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know what I find out.
Yeah. If you want an episode just about that, let us know in the comments.
I'm your man. I'll do it. I'll take you. I'll take one for the team.
Ruin your search history. Let's go.
Can't get worse.